Hey, everybody.
Hi.
It's Two Old Farts. It's late in the day, so Trish is a little tired, aren't you, Trish? She'd rather me just leave her alone, but I'm so excited because this one episode of Two Old Farts is all about the news. Right, it happened in November, just recently, about a new. They're testing a drug that looks very promising for people with Alzheimer's. It's not just Alzheimer's, but people with cognitive decline. So hang on, stay tuned for that. But we're going to do something first. We're going to look into a study that was done where, Trish? Was it done at Harvard? Was it done at Harvard?
Harvard.
Harvard, the Harvard study. We're doing that, right? So let's start with that. Here's what we've learned from the Harvard study. So here's what the Harvard folks are saying. They've got the big top three, which are number one, exercise. Yay, we're right on that, don't we?
Yes, we are.
And let me read what they said here. They said the most convincing evidence is that physical exercise helps prevent the development of Alzheimer's or slow progression. So what they're recommending is 30 minutes of moderately vigorous aerobic exercise 3 to 4 times a week. Now, we do 3 to 4 times a week, but it's not really vigorous. It's really, we're just walking. Yeah, we're just walking. But we'll get that up eventually. And what's the second thing, Trish? What's the second thing?
Eat a Mediterranean diet.
Yes, and we're close on that. We're real close on that. Read what that says.
Says the diet includes fresh vegetables, fruits, whole grains, olive oil, nuts, legumes, fish, moderate amounts of poultry, eggs, and dairy, moderate amounts of red wine, and red meat only sparingly.
That's right. And, of course, I do red wine, but you don't.
I do white wine.
And, we don't worry about being perfect on this. The more we can stick to that kind of diet, the better off we are. And we feel like we're doing a pretty good job.
I think we are.
And then this third one is a big surprise to me. It's not the one I thought it would be. What is it?
Get enough sleep.
Do I do that?
I don't think you do. I think he
No.
gets up and wanders in the night.
Yeah, I don't get enough sleep. I've got apnea, and nothing I've done. That apnea machine so many people hate that thing. I've acclimated to it, but it just doesn't do much good. I still wake up. A lot of times. So I'm not sold on the so-called remedies for sleep apnea. I think the biggest problem with me is what I eat before I go to bed.
Yes, you're not even supposed to eat before you go to bed, like within 4 hours. I've heard that.
Okay. Now there's some not so certain things, and these are the things that they're putting in as showing some efficacy, but they're not sure how much. So the first one is learn new things, and Trish, she tackles that every week doing her, what are you doing?
We do an art class, we do painting, we've done watercolor, and then regular painting.
Plus, that's social activity, and so that's number 2, connect socially, because it's not just learning, you're also having a hen party.
That's right.
And then what's that third one? Drink, but just a little. And that definitely defines us.
Right.
We don't drink a lot. We drink a little bit. I think Trish has maybe, a half a cup of wine a day, something like that?
Yeah, and it's white wine. It looks like red wine is even better.
Sure. And now we're ready to go into the most exciting part of Two Old Farts. This research was done in the UK, England, and Taiwan, was it? Or I forgot where.
I don't know.
Singapore.
Oh, Singapore.
Singapore
Close.
and the UK. And what is the study about? It's about a drug, isn't it?
It is.
It's a drug that's been around a while. And they have found some really important information about this drug. So without further ado, let's go to the study. A minimum dose of hydromethylamine. I think that's what it is. And they have conducted studies using small amounts and larger amounts, and they have found that the larger amounts have no more efficacy than the smaller amounts of this drug. It's already out. It's called LMTM. There's a company called TAURX, TAURX, and that's the company that is currently doing this drug. But the long name I just gave you is the actual generic name of the drug, and I believe it's going to be available widely pretty quickly. Now, here's the exciting part. What they've realized is they have been able to achieve an 85% of reduction in cognitive decline over 65 weeks in the test studies. Alzheimer's patients do a test to see about their brain efficiency. And the test is graded, and what they have found is it affects their score 7.5 points. That's 3 times what was previously seen from Alzheimer's treatment. Just to put that in perspective for you, what does that mean in terms of the reduction in cognitive decline?
Well, 85% is over half. I mean, it's...
And that decline is over 65 weeks. So it's substantial. It's an enormous, really good indicator. See, a 4-point change is generally considered as indicating something that's clinically meaningful. So to see a 7.5 point difference is quite a heartening thing to see. It sure is good news. And this came out, when did this come out, Trish?
In November.
Of this year, of 2019. So this is the newest, latest, greatest information. So please, if you know any more about this or if you're involved in any of these studies, please contact us because we'd love to interview you for the show. Well, what do you think?
It's pretty good.
Looks promising, doesn't it?
It does look promising. It does.
And see, these are not animal trials. These are human trials. So it's a long, it takes a long time to get something from animal trials to human trials. And this is already in human trials. And those results are very promising. So it's the experts that say those results are promising. That is a clinical study, not some anecdotal stuff that you hear, I heard coconut oil works, We don't want to spread stuff that's not necessarily true. Yeah. This is, a lot of people are quoting it, and the experts are agreeing that it really is. I wouldn't call it a breakthrough, but it's really good news, right?
Yeah, it is.
So be sure and tune in for the next Two Old Farts.
Dry.